we'll begin with the roll call. Vice Chair Verduzco is absent. Commissioner Price.
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez is also absent. Commissioner Krieg.
Here.
And I'm here, Chair Chuko. If Commissioner Price would please kindly lead us in Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for that, Commissioner Price. We will move on to public comments. At this time, I do not have any public comments card in front of me. This is usually reserved for the items that are not on the agenda. And since we don't have any at the moment, nor we did not receive any comments online, we will move on to consent calendar. And the first item is approval of the minutes from the regular Planning Commission meeting for the months of October. If you'd like to review, or if you're ready to make a motion.
Approval.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Krieg. Do we have a second?
Second.
And so seconded by Commissioner Price. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against, hearing none, motion passes. Okay, public hearings. Item 4.1, Rosewood Estates. We have design review. Mr. Gorman, would you be doing the presentation for us tonight?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. If you would give me 30 seconds, I'm going to get the presentation
No
loaded.
problem. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much for your patience. Tonight, the item we're reviewing is Rosewood Estates, tentative map 8787, design review, and that application number is DR06-24. All right. For project location, we're here at the center of town at a busy intersection, and we'll take a closer look at it right now. All right, here's the vicinity map where you'll get a better look at where we are in town. We're here at the northwest corner of Laurel Road and Rose Avenue. This is a parcel of land that I feel like we've all driven by many, many times. It's very prominent. There you can see to the west is Laurel Ball Fields. To the north and east, you have some vineyards. You have housing to the northeast, and then to the south. To the northeast, you have some larger lots that then turn into some what we would call medium-sized lots. And then for the parcel itself, you have it there in the center of your screen, outlined in yellow. Has a home on it, an older home, and a barn, and some trees on it as well. And then the rest is vacant. This property is zoned R6, and in the general plan, it's designated as residential medium/low. Now for some background, usually I feel like in most applications you get, they're all packaged together. You get the tentative map, you get the design review. Here that's not the case. The tentative map was approved previously, and I'll go over it so I don't get off script. On March 23rd, 2010, the City Council adopted Resolution 40-10, which approved a vesting tentative map, 8787, which subdivided the 13.9-acre site into 61 lots. You know, you might be confused because tonight we're looking at 58 lots, and that's because some right-of-way was dedicated. You'll see it there in the corner, kind of taken out of the lot, and that was to create better circulation for Laurel Ball Fields. So that led to the second half of this paragraph. It led to a smaller lot, a smaller project site, 12.64 acres and 58 lots. The council also adopted Ordinance 07-10, which approved a rezone of the project site from general agriculture, so at that time it was A-2, district to R6. And that's typical. That's to accommodate a project like this. The minimum lot size for this subdivision is 6,000 square feet, and the average lot size is 6,145 square feet. Now for tonight's application, the applicant has submitted home elevations for us to look at, a master plotting plan, as well as landscaping plans. Here's the master plotting plan. You'll notice that there's different colors here in certain groups, and that's not typical, and so we'll go through that, and so it makes more sense. Overall, there's 58 single-family detached homes as part of this project tonight. Again, the lots and the lot layout are approved, and so tonight we're looking at the homes and how they're plotted about this land. There's 31 story homes within the 58, and there's 28 two-story homes. Here you have streetscape renderings. We have 8 plans, which is more than usual, and we'll get into why that is. And here I'll just give you a moment to look at these 8 plans. Again, 4 of these plans are 1-story plans, and then 4 of these plans are 2-story plans. Here's a summary. It's really going to look like a bunch of numbers to you, and that's because there's a lot of variety here. There's various square footages, so ranging from Plan 4's almost 1,700 square feet to Plan 6's over 3,000 square feet. Some houses have 3-car garages, some have 2, various bathrooms and bedrooms. The key that I'm seeing when I look at this table is a variety. All right, this is my first neighborhood design review, and when I opened up the plans, just to take you through it, I was surprised to see 3 sections of houses, and I didn't get that, and what I did was I went through those original approvals from 2010, and they addressed that. The applicant at the time, in their application to the city council, said, they were proposing 3, they called them neighborhoods, 3 sections of this neighborhood that would have a different lot layout. So these lots in neighborhood A, they kind of have some depth to them, but they may not be as wide. And that would provide some variety of homes for this development. And so that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing this applicant 14 years later try and make good on that with these designs tonight. So first we have neighborhood A. That's the western section. It's really a street. And we have 3 plans, Plan 1, Plan 2, and Plan 3. And there I've tried to put the visual for you of what the homes look like. And just one more thing, again, this, to me, to my eye, there's a little bit more depth here in the lot. Neighborhood B is right in the center of the project, and those, I see a wider footprint for these homes, and the lots are a bit wide. And so you have a different feel there. You have 3 different home plans and 3 different home styles there. I'm sorry, not styles, 3 different home floor plans. Styles will be different, and we'll cover those. And finally, we have neighborhood C. That's on the eastern side. It kind of wraps around the eastern and the southern side. And that, again, this is a southern side of the street. And so we have 2 floor plans there. Now, again, I'm going to take you through as someone who was new to a neighborhood level design review, even though I've done design review for many individual projects. For me, I saw neighborhood C, and I said, well, this is odd. It's just one floor plan after another. I'm not seeing a lot of variety there, and that's where someone, that's where my team helped me out. That's where you look at styles. And so this whole development, each floor plan has 2 different styles, and that's where you start to get a little bit more variety. On the top, we have the developer calls it the Spanish style. We have hip roofs. We have a different portico design. There's kind of a rounded arch at the top there of the portico. Your veneer is different. You have stone veneer, and then your roof tile is different as well. And then on the bottom, you have what the developer's calling the French style. You have a gabled roof Your portico is more squared off. You have brick as the veneer, and then the roof tile is different as well. And so here, if we thought of this picture as two columns, the left column, that's plan 7, and the right column is plan 8. And so those are the same floor plan, and that's how they're achieving a different look. And then again, I was still suspicious. I said, is there more variety here? Because it's still only, 2 styles, and there is. When you go deeper into the plans, there's actually 4 color schemes for each style. And so on your left side of the screen, you're going to see a matrix, and that is of the different styles, Spanish in blue, French in red, and the number 1 represents one house has that style and color scheme, if that makes sense. That floor plan, style, and color scheme. So if you see a 1, that's a unique house. It's the only one that has that floor plan, style, and color scheme. If you see a 2, then 2 houses have it. And so we see that there's 58 there's almost 58 different styles here. So most of all the homes, they're all different. Yep. So that's the key, that applicant trying to achieve variety in this development. Now, as part of every application, we provide an analysis in your staff report to take a look at how this project, how it stacks up compared to our design guidelines. When looking at this project with this level of variety, we found that the plans are found to be consistent with Oakley's residential design guidelines. We found that the proposed development would create a visually diverse neighborhood by by incorporating variations in home design, lot types, and architectural elements. The project features those 3 distinct sections with strategically plotted homes, and that was the initial intent of the original approval back in 2010. And they have also included very varied garage and front yard setbacks. Porches in Oakley are allowed to project even closer to the street, and that'll provide a little bit more variety, and the applicant has taken advantage of that. And that's so we don't just get straight corridors of houses. There's some variety there in the way they interact with the street. The designs incorporate different roof styles, as we talked about, the hipped roofs versus the gabled roofs. And then we have different veneer types, the stone and the brick. And then I'm going to go beyond what's written here. We also have the different tiles on the roof, the portico design. When you have a gable, we're seeing nice architectural details. It's not just a blank gable. We're seeing some details and perhaps a vent or some element in the gable. And we really appreciate that. That meets the residential design guidelines for the town, and that's what we're looking for. So we're finding those. And so we are, because we are finding that it meets our design guidelines, we have included those findings in our draft resolution to you tonight. Environmental review. So the proposal for the house designs and other design elements of the subdivision, they fall within the scope of the original subdivision's CEQA analysis. Subdivision 8787 was analyzed through an initial study and mitigated negative declaration. They were prepared and dated in July of 2009. The City Council adopted the mitigated negative declaration with adoption of Resolution 40-10 for the tentative map approval and the adoption of Ordinance 07-10 for the rezone. And so this project is within that scope. It's not creating new environmental issues. It's within that. All right, and for our recommendation, after we took a look at it and it met our design guidelines, staff tonight is recommending the Planning Commission adopt the resolution approving Rosewood Estates 8787, the design review 06-24 as conditioned. I can answer any questions you have. I really appreciate the chance to present that. And then we also have the applicant representatives for the applicant here tonight. They said they don't have a presentation. They feel the application speaks for itself, but they're very happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Appreciate it. So, do we have any questions currently from the commission?
I have one question. I just wanted to
Commissioner
clarify.
Krieg.
So this neighborhood is already approved. I mean, we're not talking about approving a new development. We're talking about approving the design of an already approved development.
Yes, you've nailed it. So a neighborhood is approved here, a map of lots, a subdivision, and then now the entitlement that's left over is the design of what the homes will look like.
Commissioner Price, do you have a question? You don't have a question. Okay, so I do have a question. So in this design review that we just did, so we focused on home designs, right? What about the streets as a whole, and everything that surrounds? Basically, what makes the neighborhood neighborhood?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I may ask for help from my experienced design reviewer next to me, but my understanding is those are part of the subdivision, the tentative map review process, the streets, and they propose improvement plans that are more detailed plans for the streets, and they have those in with the Public Works Department at the moment, and I believe that's more tied to the subdivision.
Okay, thank you. Very good. So we'll open up the public hearing at this point. Would the applicant like to make any statements, comments, or do we have any questions for the applicant? Looks like we don't. So if not, do we have any comments from the public? I don't see any cards in front of me, so we'll just close the public hearing and just move to deliberation. So if we don't have any further business, would anyone like to entertain a motion?
So move approval.
Second.
All right. So moved by Commissioner Price and seconded by Commissioner Krieg. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing none against, the motion passes unanimously. All right. Thank you for that very thorough presentation, Mr. Gurman. Okay. Item 5.1 on the regular calendar is we have here a resolution to adopt for approving a determination to vacate the public roadway right-of-way for Old Neroli Road between Neroli Road and Empire Avenue. Mr. Rohani, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Chair Chuko, members of the Commission. This item in front of you is regarding a vacation request. Back in 2008, a long time ago, City of Oakley City Council adopted Resolution 40-08 approving a vesting tentative map for subdivision 9191 for development of the parcel. This is at the southwest corner of Neroli and Empire Avenue, kind of opposite corner from the Diamond Hills Sports Complex. Over the years, Neroli Road was reconstructed, the old Neroli versus the new Neroli. The utilities were relocated. It took a number of years, as we can see, almost 15 plus years. And now the developer of the project, Mark III Asset Management, has requested that the city to proceed per the conditions of approval 89 of the project to proceed with the land transaction. And what that is, there is a sliver of land between the railroad track and this parcel. And tonight's action by the Planning Commission would be to recommend basically determination of finding a public right-of-way vacation of the old Neroli Road between Neroli Road and Empire Avenue as shown on Exhibit A. This sliver of land has been a difficult land for us to maintain. It's been, we spend a lot of resources dealing with the homeless encampment. They're constantly the issues we've had. So we've been looking forward to finalize this transaction. This will be ultimately connected to the parcel to be developed at some point in the future. So staff recommendation would be that the Planning Commission adopt and approve recommended requirement that this vacation meets the requirements of the Streets and Highway Code, and also that the Planning Commission makes the determination that the vacated property is not needed to meet the goals and policies of the general plan consistent under Government Code 65402. This concludes my report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Rohani. Does any commissioner have question for Mr. Rohani? Okay, very good. So if there are no further questions, would anyone like to entertain a motion to adopt this resolution?
I'll move that we adopt the resolution.
A second.
All right, so moved by Commissioner Creek, seconded by Commissioner Price. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing nothing against, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Rohani.
Chair. This item, after your approval, moves to City Council meeting on December 10th for their action to finalize the.
Right, they have to finalize. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, moving on to reports. Do we have any reports from the staff members? Director Strelo.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Chair and members of the Planning Commission, Commissioner Price and Creek. I have three quick announcements. The first one is last night, the planning staff and consultants conducted Oakley's Climate Action Plan Public Workshop number 1 at the Oakley Recreation Center. It was held from 6 to 8 p.m. The interactive workshop drew 16 attendees, including Oakley residents, members of the City Council, and the local press. A second public workshop is tentatively scheduled for the first quarter of 2025. For more information, and this is for the benefit of the public if anyone's listening, for more information or to be added to the Climate Action Plan contact list to stay up to date, members of the public can email climateaction, it's one word, climateaction @ci.oakley.ca.us. Second item update is last Tuesday night, the City Council adopted a resolution authorizing advertisement of 2 Planning Commission seats for 2-year terms expiring February 27th, 2025. Reappointments for the 2 seats will not be by default or without an application process. For those interested in applying to serve as Planning Commissioner, they will need to submit an application for one of the 2 expiring seats. Applications will be available on November 21st and should be submitted no later than December 13th. Applications will be reviewed and interviews conducted by the City Council at the January 28th, 2025 meeting. The third and final update, the City of Oakley is hosting its annual tree lighting on Thursday, December 5th, starting at 5 p.m. Join us at the Civic Center Plaza right here at 3231 Main Street as we kick off the holiday season with this family-friendly event. Admission and parking are free, and the event will take place rain or shine. Civic Center Plaza will be adorned with lights and decorations. There will also be free cookies and cocoa, arts and crafts for the children, live entertainment, and more. Santa Claus will also be making a special visit. Entertainment for the night will include performances by local organizations. We will gather around the live tree near the Veterans Memorial to watch the lights turn on at approximately 6:45 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Strelo. If there are no more reports from the staff, we will move on now to reports from commission members. I believe Commissioner Price, you have a report.
Yes, I have a report from a transplant committee meeting that met last Thursday. The first presentation was by Bart to let us know that the new gates have been installed in Antioch and they are working. There's plans throughout the BART system to do this, and we're one of like the third or fourth one that's had this done. There was also a report from Tri-Delta Transit, and they're doing a study to improve the bus services in our area because sometimes the services are duplicated or not getting to where they need to be. So they're doing a comprehensive look at that so they can do the best that they can for the citizens here. The other item that came up was put on by the Contra Costa Transportation Authority. And what they did is they did an in-depth look at all of the cities and the areas that are covered in each county to looking at accidents, fatalities,
and cause at different intersections. And what they're looking at is where they have the highest impact from different types of accidents and how to try to eliminate those, either by controlling the speed of the traffic, looking at the way the intersections are set up, doing traffic calming. So it was pretty interesting to see all of the different areas, and each city had information that was put into this report by their traffic engineer. So this is in the works, and there'll be something coming up with a report on what they plan on doing. That's it.
Thank you so much. Okay, Commissioner Krieg.
I just wanted to report that I got to attend the Makers Boulevard out at the Park and Ride lot in Oakley a couple weekends ago, but I was very impressed. I was there on the early side, so it was still, they were still setting up, and there weren't a lot of people there yet, but I anticipated that there would be more showing up. But it was a great event. I enjoyed seeing a lot of people that I don't get to see very often, and I look forward to the next ones. I hope it continues.
Excellent. Yeah, sounds like it's growing, which is very good. Cool. If there are no future agenda requests, this meeting is closed.